With the exclusive interview that took place in San Francisco between Elon Musk and our technology correspondent James Clayton. Months to live unless drastic measures were taken.
Elon instant mute.
In rough numbers, revenue dropped from 4.5 billion to 3.
Wide people happy. I dream of a wide chat, wide vibe.
Expenses went from 4.5 to 6, creating a $3 billion negative cash flow situation. And Twitter having $1 billion in the bank. That's 4 months to live. So unless drastic action was taken immediately, this company's going to die and be owned by the banks.
Let's talk about that drastic action, because almost immediately you sacked a lot of Twitter workers. And I spoke to them. It was very easy to speak to them when it happened. And the way they said, pretty much everyone said, is that it felt quite haphazard.
It was.
And it felt a little bit uncaring. I
wouldn't say uncaring. The issue is like the company's either going to go bankrupt or
uncaring.
If we do not cut costs immediately. This is not a caring, uncaring situation. It's like if the whole ship sinks, then nobody's got a job.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just lost their jobs like that.
Jack, can I ask Jack, what is wrong with the BBC as a news station that this guy is the one interviewing? What the fuck kind of answer is that to the question? Yes, the question, get an answer, then he just completely disregards the nature of the answer and just goes with another, he just goes back at it.
This is not a caring, uncaring situation. It's like if the whole ship sinks, then nobody's got a job.
What's wrong with this guy?
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just lost their jobs like that. They weren't. They didn't even know they'd lost their jobs often. They were just frozen out.
Okay, so is it better then to just okay? So in this guy's mind, it's better then to keep the whole company on payroll, right, for 2 months, and then fire every single employee because now the ship sinks. So this guy says, well, instead of firing some people, let's keep everybody on payroll, and then everybody fired, and nobody gets paid forever. I mean, at least it was kind. What the fuck is this shit?
What would you do?
Well, you might want to give someone some notice. I mean, you might. By the way, I'm not running Twitter, but,
but
this is the criticism, and this is what staff members say. A little bit of notice,
No, I understand. If you have 4 months to live, 120 days. In 120 days, you're dead. So what do you want to do?
How much are you worth?
I don't know.
But I mean, we're talking about around the $200 billion mark. I mean, it's not quite. You're framing
it
in,
my God.
In a way that it had a few months to live. You're quite a rich man.
I sold a lot of Tesla stock.
This guy needs to get, guys. I don't mean to be rude. Just get a new line of questioning, maybe a new job. I don't know. This guy's a terrible interviewer. Is he gonna push the argument that this guy, since he has a lot of money, he should get a new business venture and then personally inject his funds into his personal funds into the employees themselves and do charity or wealth distribution? Oh, fuck no.
To close the deal.
Ew!
I did not want to sell the Tesla stock.
In what was quite a lengthy interview, Elon Musk also said he is confident that the social media platform Twitter will become profitable again and advertisers will return. Let's have a listen to this.
In terms of advertising, obviously Twitter's not a private company anymore, so we don't really know how it's all going. Have all the advertisers come back?
Not all, but most.
And
you can see it for yourself on Twitter, even in the For You feed.
Right.
I mean, in the
following feed.
Don't use For You because it sucks.
Right.
Filled with hate speech.
I like that he laughs hysterically as he gives people a For You page full of people that just fights, gun headshots, deaths, shootings, brutal beatings, bloody death. Like, brother, like, a For You page full of kills. Wow, dude. He's like,
that's not what I said.
Okay, fine. Well, why don't you use For You?
What's wrong with you don't get that?
How is it going? Is Twitter in profit now?
No, Twitter is rough. I'd say we're roughly break even at this point.
And I think you've said before you see a world where you could be in profit. Is there a timeline on that, do you think?
I mean, depending on how things go, if current trends continue, I think we could be profitable. Or, I mean, I say, to be more precise, we could be cash flow positive this quarter if things keep going well.
This quarter, as soon as that?
Possibly, yeah.
Wow. And do you have a message for the advertisers? I mean, can you say which advertisers haven't come back?
I think almost all of them have either come back or said they're going to come back.
Well,
there are very few exceptions.
I'm confused. Why does it matter? When that's just isn't it kind of a liability to call people out for not getting back as an advertiser if they're not ready? As like, oh guys, these just didn't come back. But I mean, it's just business. It seems kind of weird to ask them to say.
I actually don't know of anyone who said definitively they're not coming back. They're all sort of trending towards coming back.
But there are some that just haven't.
Jumping in the water's warm. It's great.
That's your message to the advertisers who haven't come back.
Why is he laughing?
Yeah, I mean, look.
This guy is just bad.
If Disney feels comfortable advertising, children's movies, and Apple feels comfortable advertising iPhones, those are good indicators that Twitter is a good place to advertise.
I want to talk about if you have any regrets. And I think you were booed at a Dave Chappelle concert. I think your own lawyer said a little. Well, some say a little, some say a bit more. I think your own lawyer said you couldn't get a fair trial in San Francisco because there are lots of people that don't necessarily like you here.
Yeah, but I have to say I was wrong. He was wrong, I guess. Because I was acquitted by the San Francisco jury unanimously. So, yeah.
But I guess.
But look,
do you have any regrets buying Twitter?
I think it was something that needed to be done.
I mean, you said earlier that
difficult. I'd say that the pain level of Twitter has been extremely high. This hasn't been some sort of party. So it's been really quite a stressful situation, for the last several months. Not an easy one. But apart from the pain, I mean, so it's been quite painful. But I think
I'm listening to this. Hold up, chill out.
At the end of the day,
it's interesting.
It should have been done. I think were there many mistakes made along the way? Of course, but all's well that ends well. And so I feel like we're headed to a good place. We're roughly break even. I think we're trending towards being cash flow positive very soon, like literally in a matter of.
I think Twitter sucks. Can I be honest, Jeff? I feel like Twitter was changing a lot of things fast and was trying new things, and now they kind of stopped. It seems like they stopped trying new things. Now it seems like I didn't even care that they were trying. At least they're trying new things. Some of it was bad, some of it was good, some of it was terrible, right? Just keep trying things. Why? They just stopped now.
Months. The advertisers are returning. I think the quality of recommended tweets has improved significantly, and we've taken a lot of feedback from people that have looked at the open source recommendation algorithm, and we've made a lot of improvements even since that was made open source, and we're going to keep doing that. So overall, I think the trend is very good. So
okay, that's it. Oh, this one. Oh, that's what people were talking about.
In the company. I would only just add that we have spoken to people who have been sacked that used to be in content moderation, and we've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
what hate
that
speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter,
right?
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
but just a personal anecdote. Like, what do you? I don't.
Personally, for you, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally,
I don't.
But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest.
Guys, you need to differentiate. Okay, hate speech and speech that you don't agree with. Those are two different things.
I understand literally all of this cause I watch.
I get it. You want to get mad and outraged. Okay? Sometimes some speech isn't hate speech. It's something that you don't personally agree with. Which you might think is it's still bad and hurtful,
Hope
right?
Your day has been
but then you're gonna realize that the basis of democracy and conversations is that without anybody saying something against your point, you'll never grow and you'll never get better ideas because you never have the best possible idea. It's by getting an opposing view, even if it's dog shit, that you have to rethink and ask new questions and get new answers, and that's how you grow. Dumbass. So something, oh, dude, I don't like this, that's hate speech. Don't be like that.
Of Twitter.
So you see more
haven't
hate
seen it,
speech
though.
personally.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
Well, I'm
saying.
just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples.
Nah, that's literally slow.
And you just said that if something is slightly sexist,
Guys, I'm not even a dick rider. Elon just isn't wrong about this. If somebody says he thinks women should stay as homemakers and stay at home and raise his children, right? And that's where he thinks his values are at, right? Yeah, you might think you have an opposing view, right? You might say, "Oh, dude, well that's misogynistic and that's hate speech or some shit." Well, even though I don't agree with that statement, I still don't think that that's hate speech, and it's an opposing view.
that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed.
That's it.
Whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually,
you-
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on
my
a second.
This is the classic, guys. This is the typical small person argument type shit. This is like oh, dude, God, dude. Oh, yeah. I don't use it.
You said you've seen more hateful content.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can't
It
name a
seems kinda
single
odd. I don't
example,
know.
not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4
It's
weeks.
odd.
And
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
really.
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
That's false.
no. What I claimed,
just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organisations that say that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my
Give me
feed
one
or
example.
not. I mean, right. And
Literally
if you
can't
look at
name
something
one.
like the strategic dialogue.
All he had to do, chat, to prove his point is get one tweet, one research data, one analysis, any statement of anybody. He could have done a 5-minute research and proven his point, quote unquote.
Institute in the UK.
Can't even get the
they will
argument now
say
because of
that.
that.
So
Look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a
Right.
single example, and you can't name one.
right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know there's hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Wow.
COVID misinformation. You
Amazing.
You changed the COVID misinformation
Has
rules.
BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
The BBC does not set the rules on Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. They used to be.
Jesus,
a policy,
this
and
guy.
It then disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue. Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations? And not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I wanna make
Jesus,
that
this
clear.
guy. I mean,
let's talk about something
I
else.
mean,
Let's talk about
you
the
too.
BBC. All right, let's talk about something else.
You weren't expecting that.
Let's talk about something else.
Jeez, bro, listen, this guy got absolutely boiled. Chat, is this the best guy they got? Bro, they're gonna send anybody from the fucking BBC They send this buster. I don't even get it.
This is just what I need to buzz.
I do not get it. What is this buster?
Feeling down, can't seem to shake it. Weight on my chest, I can't fake it. Life's so hard. Sometimes it feels just like a drag.